Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jamie, Crafty DIY Guy, and I'm back. I have got some very cool dupes for you today. I think they're cool anyway. Hey, if you like stores like At Home or Anthropology or Magnolia Farms, then this is going to be the video for you. I've actually got 4 projects in this one little video today. However, they are very easy projects. Also, one of the projects is not a dupe. It's just something that I thought was kind of cool, and hopefully you'll think it's kind of cool as well. Now, if you are one of my long-term subscribers, one of my long-term friends, I call you guys my OGs, thank you so much for being here. I really, truly appreciate you being here and being supportive. I love interacting with you guys and commenting and just having fun. If you are one of my newer subscribers, welcome as well. And if you just happen to find this video, you better start subscribing because we're trying to have some fun here. All right, guys, I'm gonna get going because it's thundering and lightning outside right now, and I don't want it to boom, 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 crack in between our videos. So let's get going. And I don't know about you guys, but if I can do, whoa, that's some thunder and some lightning. For our very first dupe, we are going to a store called At Home. We're going to recreate this wooden lantern for about $5. To recreate this lantern, I used 2 packages of my tumbling tower blocks. You can use 2 to 3. It really just depends on how tall you want your lantern to be. Also, I used 1 square from this wood plank kit that you can get at Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section. I started building my tower using my glue gun. I am using the Gorilla Glue all-purpose glue that is set up for your glue gun. It works really, really good on wood. And I just started building my tower all the way around, up until it came to a structure that looked like this. Once everything was dry, I then took some nautical rope, fed it through the tops of my lantern, and glued the ends together kind of like so. And then once that was good and dry, I did start wrapping my cotton twine around the edges just to give it a little bit of a finished look. You can see there I added just a little bit more hot glue to keep that twine in place, and then just wrapped around those ends and repeated it on the second side as well. And this is what it looked like when it was all done. I stuck a Dollar Tree votive candle in here, and I absolutely love this. I think it's super cool. It definitely has a cool nautical vibe and really could be painted any color that you like. And for our next inspired dupe, I went to Magnolia Farms, where I absolutely fell in love with these candle holders. So I went to my Dollar Tree junk drawer and started digging around in my bin to see what else I could find. I had this wood coaster that was left over from a previous project. I liked it, and I really liked this kind of rough edge that made it look like it was a slice from a tree. So I thought that could be a really cool topper for my candle holder. Also, I dug in a little deeper and I remembered that I had this leftover stand from a Dollar Tree Christmas tree, and I thought that perhaps I could figure out how to use this in some way as well. The first thing I did was just assemble that Christmas tree stand back the way it was, kind of like so. Not very hard. There is a little bit of a knob here on the end of this, and I needed the piece of wood to be able to fit flat on top of that stand. So I took my drill bit out that was the same size as the top of that knob, and I'm just going to drill a hole kind of like this in the center of my coaster or my piece of wood here, and then I'm going to glue this on top. What I did was put some E6000 quick hold in the middle, and then I took some hot glue and put it on the outside of the stand. That way the 2 glues didn't interact with each other. I've heard that hot glue and E6000 can kind of cancel each other out. So I wanted to make sure that the glues were separate so they would hold together really well. Once everything was dry, then I just took my favorite candle and just played around with the placement. You could use a glass candle like this, or you could put a larger votive candle directly on the surface, kind of like I'm doing here. It's really up to you. Obviously, you want to make sure you're careful, but this is how it looks on top of my desk organizer. I really love this. I think that stand kind of mimics the one that you saw on Magnolia Farms' website, and it looks good in a collection of candles, kind of like so. My next project is not a dupe, but it is something that's super cool. I liked this calendar, I liked the concept of it, but the colors just weren't really my jam. So I decided to go ahead and change it up a little bit. I took a sheet of Crafter Square cork, some twine, some wood beads that were left over from a Michael's haul, and then I also had some paint The seafoamy kind of blue-green color you see there coordinates perfectly with those letters. And then the last thing I did was grab a wooden dowel rod from my scrap drawer, which I happen to have here. I wanted to make sure that I didn't get any paint on my numbers or my dates, so I did put them aside. I also took those hooks off of the calendar itself and then traced out a sheet of that corkboard that was going to be the exact same size as my base. I did, however, want to paint this, so I used my Waverly ink chalk paint, and I just went around the edges of the calendar itself. Not only did I do the sides, but I also did the very edge of the calendar. That way none of those kind of pastel colors would show through. Then after everything was dry, I took my cork sheet and just stuck it directly down on top of my calendar base, kind of like so. I didn't like the hooks that came with my calendar, so I did replace them with some larger hooks. I also picked these up at Dollar Tree. I happen to have these on hand, so it wasn't really an added expense. I just laid out my dates and my numbers kind of where I thought that they would go, and then I simply just screwed these hooks directly into the corkboard, kind of like so. I wanted to give my calendar a really cool kind of boho vibe, so I'm using some painter's tape, and I'm just going to be painting various stripes all along the calendar. I'm using that seafoamy blue-green color that I liked so much along this bottom edge, and then I'm going to repeat the painter's tape along the top edge and also do a white stripe. While everything was drying, I started tying my twine onto my dowel rod. What I'm doing here is just cutting off several pieces of my twine, and then I will be tying each individual piece onto the dowel rod itself and then gluing that dowel rod directly to the back of the calendar. I thought it looked a little like Cousin It, so I did go ahead and give it a trim, and as you can see here, I'm just going to go in and add a little bit of extra hot glue just to make sure that that dowel rod does stay in place. And now for those wood beads. They were originally on a piece of wire, but I was having trouble with the wire sticking to the back of the calendar, so I took a piece of twine. I put a little bit of hot glue on the end of the wire and also on the twine itself. And then watch this. You will be amazed at how good this works. Line your beads up towards the twine. Just start pushing down and all of your beads end up on the twine like so. How cool was that? Then I simply just glued that twine on the back of the calendar, kind of like so. So I would have the perfect way to hang this boho inspired calendar up on my wall. How cute is this? I absolutely love it. While doing some online shopping on Anthropology.com, I stumbled upon this gorgeous floral Reed Diffuser set that was $28, and I thought, nope, I'll make it myself. So I went to Dollar Tree and I picked up one of their Reed Diffuser sets, a glass vase, and also 2 packages of their dried flowers. I then just poured the oil from the diffuser set directly into the vase. I then arranged my flowers kind of like so until I was happy with it. And then once everything was set up, I thought it needed just a little bit more, so I took some of my cotton twine, created a banded tassel around the neck of the vase, kind of like so. And when it was all done, this is what it looked like in my guest bedroom. I thought it was the perfect complement to my little side table, and it will smell fantastic for my guests when they arrive.